Alright, we had a mishap this week. So, yesterday, when I checked on the black onyx, it was not polished at all. I screwed up. I put in 1,000 aluminum oxide when I was trying to buff up the slurry a little bit, and yeah, it was supposed to be 8,000. So let's pull out a piece and check it and see if it's getting any better. It's only been one day in actual polish. I had to put it in a dawn bath, and then I rinsed it out, and then I just restarted it from scratch. So let's see what nightmare we're dealing with here. It's got enough water to clean it. So the surface was all frosted. Needed to be rerun. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold. Okay, let's dry this off. And now there's going to be polish stuck in the grooves, nooks and crannies and stuff. I'm not worried about that, but all right, we are starting to get an actual polish. So you see how excuse me, this is all flat matte surface, and you see how the edges here are starting to get a bit of a glassy shine. All right, you want that glassy shine on all of it. So this is just one day in the correct polish. Seems to be doing much better. This is looking a little frosted here. Might be damage. We'll see when we're done. Alright, let's add more water to this because it's looking kind of dry. Actually, I'm just going to pour this polished water back in here. Clean this bucket while I'm at it. And I want to slow that action down because it's going just a little too fast. Yeah, it's better. Alright, we'll check on the black onyx again tomorrow. Oh, Confessions of a Rock Tumbler. I had put this Sunstone in 1,000 aluminum oxide. And then I had done the dawn cycle to, clean it, and then rinsed it out. And now this was just a borax cycle because I kind of want to see the condition of my stones. So we'll take this little piece of sunstone out, dry it off. And we can see the surface is nice and smooth. Let's get a bigger piece. Oops. You know what? Let's take a piece of snowflake obsidian out. Dry it off. See what the surface is looking like. Oh wow. That is a really, really nice smooth surface. What else did we have in here? Oh, there's a big piece of sunstone. That'll be better. So this has just been in a borax rinse, like a burnish, before I get it ready to go to polish. And because it's going to be a while before I have a polished barrel open, and I've got a lot of stuff I need to get moving, I'm going to actually use this 1000 barrel that I keep set aside for 1000, and I'm going to make it a polished barrel for this week. Wow. Nice matte sheen, good smooth surface, not seeing any bruising or damaging. So I'm going to take this and dump the water out, and then we'll be right back to prep it to get it moving for polish. Be right back. Okay, we've rinsed out or dumped out the water that was in our barrel. We're going to put 3 teaspoons of borax in this hopper, which equals 1 tablespoon. And now we're going to make it polish. So we're going to need our polish. Here it is, stage 5, 2 micron aluminum oxide. Let's turn the unit on. Oh, can't really get the camera to it where it's positioned. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon, which makes 3 teaspoons of polish. Let's give it a couple squirts of water. Let's get a squirt bottle that has water in it, empty. Alright, let's take a look. That is going way too fast. That's a little better. Still looks a little bit dry. Let's put our stones in that we pulled out to check. Alright, we will see Sunstone in 3 days after its polish cycle is finished. We are back with our Sodalite, which has already done its dawn wash cycle, and then I did a burnish cycle with just borax in here. Now we are going to take a piece of sunstone or Sodalite out. Let's dry it off and see the condition of the stone. Okay. So you see it's got a nice matte finish. It's a little bit of a sheen starting already. It's definitely ready to move to 1000. So I am going to go drain this barrel and be right back, and we'll prep it for 1000. Alright, we want to put 1000, no, I'm sorry. We want to put 3 teaspoons of borax into our Sodalite barrel. That is to help clean the stones and clean the barrel, and it's helped to, because I have hard water, it helps to facilitate the grit suspension in the water. And then I want to put See, 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon, and that's what I'm trying to get at. And now I have our stage 4 1000 aluminum oxide. I'm going to put 3 teaspoons in here to get 1 tablespoon. It's a 4-pound hopper. That's why I'm using so much. So it finished stage 3, it's going into stage 4. Move the camera. Absolutely love this Diamond Pacific Mini Sonic Vibratory Tumblers because they have the adjustable speeds on them, and when you run softer stones, you can really baby them. It's looking pretty good. The slurry's getting really nice. Okay, I'll see this in a couple, 3 days. Okay, it's time to check our polish barrels. We've got our black onyx that has been running for 6 days in polish. We've been checking it to make sure it doesn't lock up, and it's been doing really well. So let's turn that off. Let's just grab a piece, put it in our little water, give it a little rinse. Alright, we're just going to use our hands. Let's dry this off. Let's check the condition of the stone. Oh, it's coming along nicely. You can see it's got a really good polish all along the edge, but the flat surface still needs a little more time. And that's because we are doing this super slow and a very low rotation because I don't want to bruise it or damage it. You can kind of see, I mean, we've got a really nice matte shine, but we want that glassy shine. And we're getting that glassy shine on the edges. As you try to chase it across the surface, just watch this little shine right here. See how it mats out in the middle? Let's grab another one. Trying to find a flatter one here, kind of demonstrate it a little bit better. A little polish water. You have to excuse me, I've got bronchitis, so there's going to be a pretty slow week this week. You see how this right here has a nice shine and then it dulls out. Wow, it's just a beautiful surface. It feels like glass. But it is not done. think this is going to take a couple more days. Okay. Let's put those back in there. The lid back on, turn the machine on, and let it go for another 2 days. Black onyx. Slow go. And we're back with our Sunstone. It has been in polish for 4 days. Let's take a look at this. You see it's got a nice slow, let's see if I can zoom in. Nice slow roll, nice thicker polish. Let's grab a couple pieces. Well, let's turn it off so we can grab our Sunstone. I'm going to use that same water we used with the black onyx to check the polish on this. I don't know if this is a peach Aventurine or a Sunstone, but I'm trying to get that out. Alright, now we're going to wash these 2 pieces off. Yeah, it is Sunstone. Well, I knew I was going to do that. Alright. Oh, this is coming along nicely. And I think what's happening is the same thing that happened with our black onyx, and just having it on the super slow speed is taking longer to do the polish in the vibratory unit, and I'm okay with that because I'm not getting any bruising. Stone looks in really good condition. Just needs another day or 2. Let's check that other piece. Now we do have a couple of other things running in this polish unit barrel so that we could have a fuller roll. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? Oh, we're getting there. You're getting there, Sunstone. Okay, let's see if we can get another piece. Hold on just a second. I gotta get that tong from inside the unit. Alright, we got that back out. And we want to take... Hopefully I got a piece of snowflake obsidian here. Yes, I do. Let's see how that polish is coming. Oh, wow. Coming along nicely. No bruising, no frosting, so we know there's no damage happening. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Okay, put all these back in, close the unit back up. Turn it back on. Nice and low. I don't think you can see that. Okay, we're back with our Sodalite, which is running in stage 4, 1000 aluminum oxide for 4 days. And now we're going to take a peek. Really slow roll on that. Let's just turn it off so we can hear. Grab our tongs for the 1000 because they're wood and I don't want to take grit over. Let's see, I would like a larger piece to check. Let's rinse it off. Dry it. How are we doing here? There we go. All right. 4 days in 1000 aluminum oxide. I mean, there's still polish stuck in the crevices, but I'm very happy with the surface that we're getting. Oh gosh, is that smooth? That is so smooth. I'm going to check another piece, but I think this is ready for a wash cycle and to be moved to polish. Let's pull out another piece. What I'm checking for at this stage is to make sure that there's no damage. We don't want any breakage, chips, any fractures opening up. Alright, we know there's polish in there, but it's going right back in for a wash cycle. Yeah, it's feeling really super smooth. I'm pretty happy with this. Okay. What I'm going to do is add a lot of water. This is the water I used to rinse it off with. I think I'm going to need a little bit more. I'm going to need some Dawn soap. Just, oh, that might be too much. And I want water in this vibratory unit to go to the top of the stones because I want a really gentle wash cycle. I don't want them banging hard against each other. I know in vibratory units they're always saying to take the minimal amount of water, but this is a wash cycle. Alright, Bubbles, do your magic. We're going to let this run for about 30 minutes. Not too high. Okay. Let that run for about 30 minutes in the wash cycle, and then we are going to put it in the ultrasonic and make sure that we have all those nooks and crannies super duper clean. And then we'll be ready to go to polish. Okay, see you in a bit. Alright, it's time to check our Sunstone and our black onyx that are both in polish. Let's start with the Sunstone. It's been in for 6 days total. And we've been running it really, really slowly. Let's turn it off. I'm going to grab a piece of snowflake obsidian and a piece of sunstone that we've got running in here. Clean it off. Check our polish. Alright, let's see what we've got. A nice dry piece of sunstone. Got a nice shine on it. Not seeing any damage, no bruising. There's polish stuck in it though, and that's fine. Let's check the snowflake obsidian. See how it's doing. Oh, look at that. We're getting a better all over shine now. still isn't where I want it. I think we can still get it shinier. I need to thicken up that paste. There's a bigger piece, let's check it. It's not that much bigger. Oh, very nice. I mean, it needs a burnish cycle, but I don't want to do that until this is done. In 6 days in a vibratory tumbler, it seems like a long time, but I've been running it on like a really low speed so I don't get any bruising. It's a bit of an experiment to how long it's really going to take, because it would have got much more beat up in a rotary tumbler because I can't adjust the speed. It's a really good shine though. I'm not sure if leaving it in another day is going to make any difference. I don't know, I'm going to have to think about that. Yeah, I mean, those are some pretty good shine. You know what? I'm going to wash it. I'm going to put it in a dawn wash cycle. Just pour that water in there. A couple drops of dawn. Needs a little bit more water. Wasn't enough. Here we go. It's starting to bubble. We're going to give this a wash cycle and then rinse it off. And see if the shine's improved by getting all the polish off the stone. And then if it needs to run another day, I'll just re-up the polish. Alright, that's what we're doing with Sunstone. We'll be right back with the black onyx. Okay, we're back with our black onyx, which has been 7 days in polish. And let's get some water in our container over here and do a rinse cycle. Let's grab our polish stick. Let's pull out a piece of black onyx. I don't know why I try to clean it with those little tongs. I end up using my fingers every time. Okay, now the same deal with the sunstone applied to the black onyx. Low and slow, at a very low speed for a long time. Now there's a lot of polish stuck in the nooks and crannies. But what I want to see is the level of polish, because the corners were getting really high gloss, but the flat surfaces were not. So we're seeing a lovely, lovely matte shine, but I want a higher shine on this. Let's get another piece out. Check more than one here. I'm trying to find one with a really good flat surface. Again, this has got a fracture mark in it that we didn't tumble out in the first stage. So there will be polish in the cracks until it goes through a burnish cycle. But let's check. A nice flat surface. Ooh, that looks nice and classy. When you look at it head on, it's kind of matte, and I'm wondering if it's because it's still drying and the temperature difference in the room is kind of making the stone sweat. So let's give it a moment. And we'll see, because it looks like the corners are really nice and shiny, but the flat surfaces are looking matte, and it could be the lighting in this room. So again, it's been 7 days, and it just seems like this whole edge is shinier than this part here. This one's been on a little bit longer. I think I'm going to do the same thing. I think I'm going to run it through a wash cycle. And with Dawn. Rinse them off outside and take a good look. Oh, that's a lot of soap. And then take a look at them. After that, and if I think then they need more time in polish, I'll just re-up a polish stage. I want to check it under different lighting as well, get a different camera set up. Alright, we will check these in half an hour or so. Experiments are happening. Okay, we're going to go outside and do our rotary barrel washouts. Okay, it is November 18th, a beautiful 55-degree day in November, which we rarely, if ever, get. And we're going to do our barrel cleanouts outside, because that's what we do until it snows. We're going to start with our barrels that are in 120-220, which is medium. So we're going to grab our strainer that is for stage 2. This one's for stage 3. Got one for all the stages. Bring that little pine needle that was in there. Okay, this is our 1.5 pound barrel. It says our green Jasper. It says wash and then 120. I do not know if this has been on a wash cycle all week because I forgot about it, or if I forgot to change the label. So let's find out. Last week kind of went a little nuts on me. Well, it looks like it was not a wash cycle after all. It looks like I had finished the wash cycle and then just did not update the label. There's a lot of gas buildup in this barrel. So let's flatten out the lid. Now these ran for quite some time. These went in on November 6th. Today's the 18th. So it was like a 12-day cycle. And that's because I got bronchitis and I got sick. So things had to wait. And I just let them run. The stages that they were in, stage 1 and stage 2, a little extra long time in the tumbler isn't going to hurt a thing. Feels nice. Does feel okay. We ran it with a little bit of ceramic media because it was in
stage 2. So in stage 2, we want to cushion it a little more so it doesn't continue to break or chip. Because we're no longer shaping it at this stage. Now we are trying to just refine the surface a little bit at a time, which is the different stages, in order to give it its best opportunity to take a polish. This is our stage 2 ceramic media, because I keep my media separate to help prevent cross-contamination. Not that there's a lot of cross-contamination issues with ceramic media. I just want to be safe. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to dump it all back in the same barrel. It's probably going to go for a wash cycle into 500, but I need to do an inspection before I make that final decision. Because this is not what I call a wash cycle. This is just a barrel rinse. And putting borax in the barrel and as it runs does help with the cleanup, as you can see. I definitely believe in doing that. Oh. All right, we have one more barrel in medium, and this is our Apatite. Usually I have these lids off before I start. Ooh, that's thick. Not a whole lot of gas buildup. Very little on this lid. I always like to just check it while I'm here. Check the barrels, make sure there's no damage, no thin spots, it's not wearing. Make sure the seals stay nice. Just a little tiny bit of maintenance while we're maintenance checking. Every time we use it. God, I love just rinsing that out with the hose and not having to scrub it. Again, 12 days in stage 2 is excessive, but I was sick. Boy, this Apatite really did get tiny little pieces. From here, you know, being outdoors, and that looks pretty good. Not seeing chipping, so I'm grateful for that. That's the barrel. Take it downstairs, good lighting, good inspection. Got a lot of pieces of ceramic media coming through the grate on this. This is an 1/8 of an inch mesh. I wonder if I make a smaller one. And these sieves, gold pan sieves or whatever they call them. Alright. You know what? Those little pieces can just go down into the outdoor drain. Alright, we're done with our stage 2 strainer. We'll switch out, get our one for stage 1, and then we'll start with those barrels. Be right back. Okay, we are back with our stage 1 sieve, strainer, whatever you want to call it. Alright, that was our 220 stuff, and now we're going to start with our barrels that are in 60-90. This is our Kona Dolomite. It's been running 12 days at stage 1. Ooh, really pasty. I'm just burping the lids. Not that it really needed it. Oh, look how thick that is. A little 1.5 pound barrel. We didn't have a whole lot of this Kona Dolomite left. Just trying to finish it up. It also looked like there was a chip in the barrel. It managed to round itself nicely. Get all the... Just want to make sure I got all the slurry off of it, because I did not. Let's see, it's still slurry. So even after 12 days, there's still grit left over in the barrel. I only used a little less than 1 tablespoon in that little 1.5 pound barrel. And it also looks like I found a secondary chip. So there's one. Here's one. Boy, if I would have realized how beautiful this Kona Dolomite was, I would have bought more of it. Just a small piece. Yeah, okay. I put ceramic media in it because, as you can see, it's only like 1/4 full in our smallest 1.5 pound barrel, and it needed barrel filler, and I didn't want another stone in here, and I didn't have any more rock to add to stage 1. So I put the ceramic media as filler. Sometimes you just gotta do it, even regardless of what traditional wisdom says. Because it will impede the grind, but that wasn't really what I was going for. I was just trying to finish up a little bit of shaping. So I wasn't overly concerned. It did go for 12 days. Come on, Grit, go down the drain. And for those of you that are just tuning in and unaware of my drain situation here, oh gosh, bad camera angle, sorry. Yeah, that's better. It drains to an outdoor situation. So let's see if I can fix that. Oh. All right, we are back with our mushroom rhyolite and our Scolecite. Both of these are in 12-day cycle for the last stage of stage 1. I'm hoping it's the last part of stage 1. Hoping I don't have to run it again. There was quite a bit of gas buildup in this lid. You see that? Big dome there. So we want to just burp it, let the air out, so it doesn't blow off and off the container during the tumble. God, I'm grateful that did not happen. Now there is a little bump here, but that's from the screw here. So super runny slurry. A lot of breakage. Looks like most if not all the breakages from the mushroom rhyolite. These beautiful pieces. Gosh. Now we had a few pieces of leftover Unakite that's the same Mohs hardness, and we put it in this barrel as barrel filler so we wouldn't have to add ceramic media. These are looking okay. Might need some more work. Just want to make sure they're not feeling gritty from not being rinsed off well enough. When the weather gets colder, my hands numb up, and sometimes I don't feel the grit until I get it inside. My hands warm up when I do the inspections. Just taking a little extra time today to check it out. Okay, these Scolecite pieces are experimental. We talked about that last week. We're trying to grind off a lot of this host rock. I think it's pretty close to being as good as it's going to get without additional outside help, like a Dremel tool. These are all chips from the mushroom rhyolite. Yikes. It's a lot of chipping. I'm putting it back in the barrel so I can record it when I do my inspections, when I write my notes up. I like to know what's going on in the barrel every week. Now, I'm putting water in this barrel, which I did not do in the other ones, because the Scolecite has such deep pits and it has grit stuck in it, and I don't want it to dry while I'm waiting to do the inspection. Most stones that we do, completely unnecessary step. Okay, we have 3 more barrels that are 3-pound size. And then we've got our big 6-pound barrel to do still. So this has got Spider Jasper and Desert Jasper, both the same Mohs hardness, both been running in stage 1 at various amounts of time. This particular one was a 12-day run. Lots of gas buildup. Holy cow, can you see that? I can't really tell. Looking if you can see that. Get that gas out of there, and then it just comes down. Oh, there's still some gas there. Yeah, it's better. Sometimes you need to combine barrels to get enough volume to run a stage. Now, since they're both the same Mohs hardness, it doesn't hurt to put them in the same barrel. I did not want to add ceramic media because I'm still trying to do a lot of grinding. After 12 days, there was a tiny bit of grit left in that barrel. I don't know if you can see it. There's little pieces of grit. And when I touch it, it doesn't feel smooth, it feels grainy. Sometimes when you touch it, it's smooth, which is the goal. So I put these 2 stones together, these 2 Jaspers, because I can tell them apart easily enough. This is the Desert Jasper and the Spider Jasper. Huge difference in patterns, so very easy to tell it apart. It looks like the Desert Jasper might be ready to come out, but I think the spider jasper is going to need more time. It still doesn't have the shape that I'm really looking for. And there were no chipping in the barrel, as you see, which is a really nice thing to have happen. So with no chipping, I'm not really concerned with it moving forward and causing damage. Okay, let's grab our next barrel. Alright, this is a miscellaneous mode 6.5 to 7, just miscellaneous repairs. I'm just doing a catch-up barrel because I had a ton of stuff on the shelf that just needed a little bit more time and stage time before it could catch up with its other batches that are being on hold for a higher level grid. That makes sense. I don't even remember what was in it. Nope, nothing to burp. So in this barrel, we had some Dalmatian Jasper, blue Aventurine, rose quartz, smoky quartz, golden quartz. What quartz is in this barrel? Just little pieces. Like this is the blue Aventurine. Just a couple pieces. Green tree moss agate. There was just a couple pieces. Quartz, rose quartz, smoky quartz. Yeah, just pieces that were damaged in other runs, and they just needed to be bounced back for damage repair. So we have a piece of spiritite in here, a couple pieces of that, another piece of green tree moss agate. And this is all the Dalmatian Jasper. I had just a little bit left that I was trying to catch up. I've already pulled the rest of it out to go to medium, so maybe these will be able to join it. And I had two little pieces in here that I do not know at this stage, at this juncture, if these are new chips or if these are old chips that I put in just to round because they're so cute. So when I do the inspection, I'll have to look at my notes and find out. So being winter coming up on us, I didn't want to start a bunch of new projects, so I'm trying to do a cleanup on a lot of our old ones, or ones that were currently going on. Alright, one more 3-pound barrel. We'll be right back. Okay, our crushed Prairie agate has been running in a 12-day cycle at stage 1. And this is the last of our crushed Prairie agate. Just do a little cleanup on the rim. The borax in the wash doesn't reach that outer ledge on the rim, thank God, or otherwise we'd have a leak. How beautiful that comes up. I don't have to scrub the barrels. I don't have to, damage the integrity of the barrel surface, by scrubbing it with Scotch-Brite or something, or a toothbrush. Probably 6 of one, half dozen of another. It probably doesn't do anything for the barrel of toothpaste. Barrel filler, I had a huge piece of polychrome jasper, which I've been trying to work this knot out of. It's never going to happen. It's just barrel filler at this stage. This is a really big piece that I'm trying to get this host rock. I'm trying to get this cleaned up, that hole cleaned up. I don't know. We'll see the condition of it when we get it inside. was feeling good. It doesn't feel gritty. Inside. Oh, there's a chip. One chip. Stage 1 is always the stage we want that to happen in. Last week, 12 days ago, as we've established, I started a new project. Let's go get it. Okay, we are back with our last barrel for this week. It is a 6-pound barrel, and it is Purple Aventurine. And now I have run Aventurine in the past. And even Purple Aventurine, but I found more on the shelf. And as I was starting to say, I'm trying to clean up a lot of old projects for this winter. So let's take a look at this nice foamy Purple Aventurine. It's had its first run in stage 1, and it was a 12-day run because I had bronchitis, so it sat and ran. Lots of gas buildup. So we're going to burp this lid. I am so grateful that these barrels did not burst and open on the tumbler, because that would have been a hell of a mess to clean up. So the rock tumbling gods took pity on me because I was sick and didn't let them burst. Whew, lucky, lucky. Like there was a piece of rose quartz in here. I'm going to put a cup on some peach Aventurine too. Sometimes when you need barrel filler, don't want to use ceramic media, you put in another stone to fill the barrel. This could probably come down to a 4.5-pound barrel now. Especially since we got it fixed. Oh, 6-pound barrels are heavy. Cleaned up nice though. So we had a piece of rose quartz, some peach quartz, really huge pieces, a couple regular size pieces. Doesn't look like it belongs in this barrel at all, does it? Interesting. I wonder what that was. Purple Aventurine. Ooh, that's chilly water. We've got some chipping in the barrel. Just be expected. Not bad. Looks like just 3 pieces. Cool. All right, I'm gonna do a little cleanup out here. Winterize everything because this is our last clean out of the year for outside. We're going to continue to do this process in the house into a 5-gallon bucket, and then take it outside and drain it. But I cannot do these wash cycles outside once it starts snowing. So this is it for November outside. Okay, we'll see you indoors.